Good evening, everybody. For the record, it is 5:15 p.m. on Thursday, February 25th, 2016. The City Council is out of executive session. I'll call the regular meeting to order. First item would be the pledge to our flag. So, Councilman Esparza, would you lead us in the pledge?
Sure will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Esparza. So, for the record, Linda, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, because you now make a quorum, so just for the audience and for the recording, we do have council members Esparza, Huffaker, Kulas are here, and Councilmember Harold is here via phone, and the other three are absent tonight. First item on our agenda are the consent items, which includes this evening's agenda, vouchers, and minutes from the previous meeting.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion that we approve the consent items this evening, consisting of our agenda for this meeting, vouchers, and the minutes from our previous meetings.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Kulas and a second by Councilmember Huffaker to approve this evening's agenda, vouchers, and minutes from the previous meeting. Questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next item would be citizen comments. This would be a time if any member of the audience would like to address the council, would ask that you come up, state your name and address for the record. We'll give you 3 minutes. Come on up.
My name is Ray Provo. I live at 315 Princeton. I was here a month ago and talked about my proposal for Princeton Street to be a one-way street. And I did a public petition and all of that, and I'm assuming that you're all aware of that now and have seen that. And on that petition, I indicated there was 3rd to 5th Street, but I may have overthought that. The actual problem with the street is from 4th to 5th, and that would be the block that needs to be a one-way street going north. Now, since that meeting, I received a letter from the city engineer saying that he was against that proposal and didn't see why it should be done, and gave his reasons why he was against it. Have you all seen the letter that he sent out? Mm-hmm. Okay, a few things about the letter. First of all, he indicates that there's 20 feet of paved width. That's inaccurate. It's 17 feet at most. And then he gave us reasons why he was against the one-way street. The first reason is the change will redistribute local traffic, disturbing other streets with higher traffic volumes. This cannot be accurately forecasted, but I expect a reality. It is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan regarding traffic distribution and well-connected pattern of streets and alleys. Well, first of all, the other streets he's referring to, there's 4 other streets that go south off of 5th, over to 3rd, or over to, one up goes all the way over to Orchard. They're all full-width, 2-lane streets. So Princeton obviously is not, and that's why we're having this debate and what the problem is. It's basically a one-way street with 2-way traffic and a bike route. Now, when you say that out loud, it doesn't even sound safe for bicycles, okay? Anyway, and he says it's inconsistent with the comprehensive plan. Well, the comprehensive plan is a guide. And in the beginning part of the letter, he indicates that the College Place subdivision was developed in 1952, and they opted to leave that street that way. Well, that was 60 plus years ago. And in the 1950s, up 5th Street was all orchards, for one thing. And now it's not hardly any orchards, and it's all residential area. Plus the college was probably had 1/10 the number of students that it has now. So over time, the conditions have changed dramatically, and the condition that I'm referring to is there's way more traffic than there was. But what hasn't changed is the situation on Princeton Street. And the proposal that I put forward, with very little cost to the city, would remedy the situation at 4th and Princeton and 5th and Princeton. 2 bad intersections. Now,
So, Mr. Provo, I think, we've got, your 3 minutes is up, and I think what I meant, just hear me out for just a second. So I think what I told you last time we met was that you would hear from the city engineer, and if you didn't accept that, which I'm guessing you're not,
I'm not.
that we would have a public hearing, and we will let the council make a decision as to whether or not they change the street width or stick
All
with
right,
the city
a
engineer.
public hearing on this issue?
Yes, specific,
Okay.
I mean, it would be a regular council meeting, it would be advertised, and then we would deal with that on an agenda item.
All right.
And then we would hear testimony from you and an engineer if you want, or the neighborhood, we'd hear from Gary, our city engineer and others, and then let the council make a decision.
All
I
right.
think that's probably where this needs to go. I think you've made your point clear, I think he's
Absolutely.
made his point clear. So
Absolutely.
instead of hashing out the pluses and minuses this time, why don't we just go ahead and just set it on a public hearing item for, I don't know, sometime next month, and we'll just deal with it that way. Is that all right?
That's
I
fine.
mean, I just think we need to get, there's only, 4 council members here. Let's get a full quorum.
I
Give
see
you
that.
some time to present. We'll get it on the agenda item and hash it out and make a decision one way or another.
I would appreciate
Does
that.
that work, council members?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go ahead, Gary. Can you just get that on an agenda item for sometime in the next month or so?
Sure.
And then notify Mr. Provo, and then we'll just have our time to deal with that. Does that work?
Yep, that works.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's what we'll do. Thanks, Ray. Wait for our firefighters to do their deal. All right, any other members of the public wish to comment at this time? All right, action items. First item regarding Pacific Engineering for design on Castle Rock, or Saddle Rock, excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. I'm Dave Erickson, Parks, Recreation, Cultural Services Director for the city. A couple weeks ago, we were back with almost the exact same item, except for a different park area. So tonight, we are trying to move ahead in the next step of the process to develop the Saddle Rock Outdoor Education Area and Gateway. And so to do that, earlier this year, January and February, we advertised a request for proposals to find some consultants to take a look at doing the consulting engineering and construction management for the Trailhead project. We received 4 responses, and we had an evaluation committee made up of myself, Gary Owen, Matt Leonard, and 2 of our Parks, Arts, Recreation Commission members, and we all reviewed those proposals. And from that process, we're recommending the selection of Pacific as the most qualified firm to complete this project. We're hoping to have the entire project done and open and ready for use Memorial Day weekend 2017. So with that, we're hoping for a motion to approve or to authorize the mayor to negotiate and to sign an agreement.
Well, Your Honor, I'll make a motion for the city council to authorize the mayor to negotiate and sign an agreement with Pacific Engineering for engineering and construction management of the Saddle Rock Gateway and Outdoor Education Area Development Project.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Huffaker, second by Councilmember Esparza to authorize the mayor to negotiate and sign an agreement with Pacific Engineering for the Saddle Rock Gateway project. Any questions or comments for staff? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Great.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Appreciate you sticking around. Mr. Owen, got a few projects.
Evening, Mayor, council members. I'm Gary Owen, city engineer. Might I suggest we switch the B and the C?
Sure, whatever you want to do.
The reason for that is the C item follows behind the B item as far as construction.
Okay, so we'll
And-
do C first.
Yes.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that we go forward with the C item. So the C item is project number 1303, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, was it 3 or 8?
It's 3.
It is 3.
It is 3.
We had that discussion in finance.
Yeah, I
earlier,
know,
so-
but we weren't sure which way it went.
So this project, we put out to bid. Yeah, I think you're all familiar with it. This is where we're reconfiguring the intersections of Miller Street at Chelan Springwater and Miller Street at Mission also. And there's another project following this one that's also in that same footprint. And then we did a small project where we added some money that the DOT gave us, where we added a landscape area that we want to get planted along with this project, which is one of the many reasons that we're a little over budget, besides the fact that our bids came in 25% higher. So I would like to recommend that we go forward and award this project, even though it's risking up to nearly $200,000, $190,000 more of the arterial street fund than we originally intended to spend on this project. But I'm hoping to recover that money by attending a TIB board meeting after we're done with construction and getting authorization for that additional funding, which is part of the TIB's process. So they have given us to date all the additional money that they can at bid award time administratively, but any additional requires a visit to talk to their board and explain why we were over and why we need more money.
So we did talk about it at finance, and we were prepared to take the risk that even if TIB didn't fund it, that we would take the risk and get this thing built, because it needs to get built. So I think that was the consensus at finance, was it not, Keith?
Yes. So with that said, I would make the motion for City Council to award the contract for construction of the Mission Street, Miller Street intersection and Chelan Avenue, and the Miller Street and Springwater intersection project 1303 to KRCI LLC in the amount of $859,688.20, and authorize the mayor to approve the construction contract.
Second.
All right, we got a motion by Councilmember Huffaker and a second by Councilmember Harold to award the contract for the Miller Street, Mission Street, Chelan Avenue project to KRCI. Any questions or comments of staff? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Now we'll move up to B.
Yes. And B is, this project, we worked with the DOT to get funding, because the city's not responsible for the pavement on SR 285. But a portion of it came due when they did the Chelan project this last summer. We worked with them to try to find funding for the whole thing, and we wanted to incorporate it into this project, but all they had was federal funds, and the one project he just awarded is a state project. We didn't want to mix monies for a number of reasons, so we developed a separate project in the same footprint to pave this after we reconfigure everything. It'll be temporary stripes, and then we'd come in and grind it, put in all the detection for the signals, and then pave it so it looks like a brand-new project. So hopefully most people will see it's one project from beginning to end and won't notice that it's even two. It came in, even it's different kind of work. It's not electrical. It's all mostly grinding and paving. It was like 35% over budget. We went to the DOT, and fortunately, they came back and agreed to fund it at its overage, knowing that there's really not much else we could do. And the bids that we did get were consistent, although they were consistently high.
Which could change a little bit now that price of oil has dropped again, maybe, huh?
Well, we were expecting much better bid prices with what, oil has done this winter, and unfortunately, that's
It hasn't caught up, maybe.
That it hasn't caught up for some reason. And this is a very complex problem. It's our busiest, it's the busiest part of town. It's a lot of traffic control is very expensive.
It's going to be done mostly at night, or will this be done during the day, or?
Mostly nighttime work.
And again, it's one of those things that's got to be done.
Yeah.
So with that, I'll make a motion for the city council to award the contract for the construction of the SR 285 milepost 2.86 to milepost 2.98 project number 1519 to Granite Construction Company in the amount of $383,383, and authorize the mayor to approve the construction contract.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Huffaker, second by Councilmember Kulas to award the contract for the milepost 286 to 298 project to Granite Construction Company. Questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. And then we got a improvement agreement and then a short plat or a long plat or something?
Yeah, this is this is a long plat, a phase Division 2, excuse me, of a long plat. And to be honest with you, I can't even remember how many lots it is.
Okay.
Gary, how many lots? 39? 39 more lots. And a lot of the work has already been done as far as the public infrastructure improvements. There's a little bit remaining. And Selent Construction was more than happy to put together a performance bond for completion, and that'll be followed up. In some respects, we like these because then we get a maintenance bond when we go this way, when the work is all said and done and everything's final. So this action needs to take place prior to final plat approval, which the Community Development Department is ready to bring to you tonight also.
And Kirsten Larson, Associate Planner, just to make a clarification, this is phase 2 of a multi-phase plot, and it's for 9 single-family lots.
9 lots.
So then the next one will be phase 3.
This
This is
phase
the
is
final
9
phase.
lots, but 39 overall. Is that the? Yeah. Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Speaking recklessly again. Sorry about that.
Why we're a team.
Yeah, it's a 3-phase project, I believe. Or is it just the 2?
It's just 2.
Okay, this is it.
Time to just be quiet.
Your Honor, I make a motion for the City Council to authorize the mayor to sign the improvement agreement for Cherry Meadows subdivision P1501, Division 2.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Esparza and a second by Councilmember Kulas to authorize the mayor's signature on the improvement agreement for Cherry Meadow subdivision phase 2, as in your council packet. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. And then last would be to authorize my signature on the Mylar.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion that the council authorize the mayor to sign the final plat for Cherry Meadows Division 2, plat 15-01.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Kulas, second by Councilmember Esparza to authorize the mayor's signature on the final Mylar for Cherry Meadows Plat 2. Questions or comments?
Kirsten was prepared.
She talked about it.
You missed the whole program that
I think
Kirsten
yeah,
was.
done though was thorough enough. They were able to.
We actually, believe it or not, we read what's given to us, so.
Excellent.
We appreciate that.
Right?
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Besides, we're going to a banquet.
Good job.
We're going to a banquet.
Mayor's report. We're watching closely all the events in Olympia, and there seems to be lots of them regarding MRSC, other things. Not sure what's happening with our DDA bill. We're not sure if it got wrapped into the omnibus bill regarding fire or not. So we got to check with Senator Parlett and see if that bill is still alive or not. I think on the House side, it didn't get put in with the budget because there's a fiscal note. I don't think I agree with the fiscal note, but I don't write them. So we're watching what's going on in Olympia. We've done the first round of interviews for Public Works Director, Allison. So we'll sit down and talk about that first part of next week. And I
Yes.
think we've got a time frame for hiring our new police chief. So that process is probably going to start in the next couple of weeks. I don't know that I have anything else.
There are numerous meetings tomorrow with the governor, who is in town. Fire summit from 11 to 3, and ALCOA meeting at 3. It keeps changing. 3:45 out at the CTC. And then Saturday is the fire event
Down
at
at Pybus?
Pybus.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll be
And-
down there for some of that.
And then don't forget, Monday night is Our Valley What's Next?
Yep.
Next Steps. And Chamber Banquet next week.
Yep. The next week we don't meet. Is this the,
Right. It's the first
okay. Perfect.
Thursday of the month.
So we'll meet again in a couple more weeks. Issues on stuff we're working on for different council assignments you're on? Pretty quiet. Okay. So I'll go to the WDA banquet. We're adjourned.